In the far reaches of the cosmos, where stars twinkled like diamonds on velvet, the mighty Vex'ari Armada held dominion. At the helm of this interstellar force was High Commander Zorvek, a formidable figure with 6 eyes that glowed with an otherworldly light. His ship, the Colossus, was a beacon of power and terror, striking fear into the hearts of those who dared to defy the Vex'ari dominion. Zorvek adjusted his ornate battle armor as he observed a tiny human vessel approaching his formidable fleet. His bridge crew, a mix of scaled and tentacled aliens, chittered and hissed in amusement at the pathetic display on their view screens. They send a single ship. One of his officers, Crix, scoffed, his scales rippling with laughter. After we destroyed their orbital defenses, they sent one vessel. The human ship, designated USS Endeavor, was a speck against the backdrop of the 30 Vex'ari warships. Its design was unusual, sleek and streamlined, with minimal weapon ports and an oversized engine compartment. It resembled a courier vessel more than a warship. Zorvek's lips curled into a sneer. "Open communications," he commanded, his voice echoing through the bridge. "I wish to accept their surrender personally." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a human female with olive skin and fiery red hair pulled back in a tight bun. "I am Captain Lyra Hart of the United Earth Alliance vessel Endeavor," she stated, her voice steady and calm. "I am authorized to negotiate terms." Zorvek's sneer deepened. "There are no terms to negotiate, human. Your world refused our offer of protection. The penalty for such insolence is orbital bombardment. Your resistance is futile." Captain Hart nodded slightly. "I understand. But before you proceed, may I ask why the Vex'ari Dominion has expanded into this sector? We believed we had established peaceful relations with all neighboring civilizations." The bridge crew exchanged amused glances at the human's naive question. "Resources," Zorvek explained condescendingly. "Your system contains 20 elements crucial to quantum fold technology. Your species has barely begun to harness their potential, making your claim to them invalid." Captain Hart's expression remained unchanged. "And you've conquered other worlds for similar reasons," Zorvek boasted. 40 worlds in the past solar cycle alone. Your Earth will be the 41st. Though I admit, none sent a lone ship as their final defense. It's almost admirable in its absurdity." Captain Hart replied, "We're a peculiar species, Commander. We prefer quality over quantity." A light blinked on her console, and she glanced down momentarily. "It appears we've completed our scan of your fleet," she continued. "Interesting configuration. Your shields are designed to disperse energy weapons and deflect kinetic projectiles. Quite effective against conventional warfare." Zorvek's patience was wearing thin. "Enough delay tactics. Surrender your vessel, or be destroyed with the rest of your kind." Captain Hart's finger hovered over a control. "Actually, Commander, I wasn't delaying. I was confirming a theory. You see, humans took a different path in weapons development. We don't believe in carrying many weapons, just the right one." She pressed the control, and from the engine compartment of the Endeavor, a small probe launched, moving at barely detectable speed toward the Vex'ari fleet. The Dominion's sensors registered it, but classified it as debris or a malfunctioning communication buoy. "Target their vessel," Zorvek ordered, his irritation growing. "End this farce." His weapons officer reported with confusion. "Their ship is powering down all systems. They're going dark." On the view screen, Captain Hart gave a small, almost apologetic smile before her image cut out. The probe reached the center of the Vex'ari formation and detonated. There was no explosion, no flash of light, and no shock wave. Instead, a perfect sphere of absolute blackness expanded outward at impossible speed. Within 3 seconds, it had engulfed the entire Vex'ari fleet. Within 5 seconds, it collapsed back to a pinpoint and vanished. Where 30 warships had been, there was now only empty space. No debris, no radiation, nothing. The Endeavor powered back up and turned toward Earth, its mission complete. In the Moon Defense Command Center, Admiral Victoria Lee, watched the sensor readings with grim satisfaction. The Einstein-Rosen displacement weapon was successful, her aide reported. The Vex'ari fleet has been relocated approximately 3.1 million light-years away, near the Triangulum galaxy. Admiral Lee nodded. Send the encoded message to all potential hostile forces in nearby sectors. Humanity prefers peace but stands ready. The Endeavor was our diplomatic option throughout the galaxy. Intelligence officers of a dozen aggressive empires received the transmission alongside the sensor data of what had occurred. Within a standard week, 18 pending invasion plans targeting Earth were quietly archived. Humanity would be left alone. News of the Endeavor's victory spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Worlds that had once trembled at the mention of the Vex'ari dominion now looked to Earth with newfound respect and awe. Embassies from various alien races began to establish contact, seeking alliances and trade agreements. Humanity, once seen as a backward and insignificant species, was now a force to be reckoned with. Among the alien races seeking alliance was the enigmatic race known as the Astraeus. Unlike the Vex'ari, the Astraeus were a peaceful people, their technology far more advanced than any other known race. They communicated through bioluminescent patterns that danced across their translucent skin, creating a mesmerizing display of colors and shapes. Their envoy, a being named Luminara, arrived on Earth in a ship that shimmered like a soap bubble, hovering gracefully above the surface. Diplomats and scientists from around the world gathered to welcome this ambassador from the stars, their hearts pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Luminara's ship descended gently, settling onto the tarmac of a specially prepared landing site. A hatch opened, and a ramp extended, revealing the ethereal figure of the Astraeus envoy. Luminara's bioluminescent patterns shifted and pulsed, creating a symphony of colors that seemed to dance in the air around them. The humans watched in awe, unsure of what to expect. Admiral Lee stepped forward, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions within her. "Welcome, Luminara of the Astraeus. We are honored by your presence." Luminara's patterns shifted to a soothing blue, and a melodic voice filled the air, translated by a device at their side. "Greetings, Admiral Victoria Lee. I come in peace, seeking an alliance with your people. We have observed your recent encounter with the Vex'ari and are impressed by your resourcefulness and courage." Admiral Lee nodded, a sense of pride swelling within her. "We are grateful for your words, Luminara. Humanity seeks peace, but we are ready to defend ourselves when necessary. We would be honored to form an alliance with the Astraeus." Luminara's patterns shifted to a warm gold, and the air seemed to fill with a sense of harmony. "Then, it is agreed. Together, we shall explore the mysteries of the universe and ensure the safety of our peoples. But first, there is much for us to learn from one another." Over the following weeks, humans and Astraeus engaged in a cultural and technological exchange unlike any other. Scientists from both races worked together, sharing knowledge and discovering new possibilities. Human engineers marveled at the Astraeus' ability to manipulate energy, while Astraeus biologists were fascinated by the complexity of human DNA. Meanwhile, Admiral Lee and her team worked tirelessly to strengthen Earth's defenses, incorporating Astraeus technology into their existing systems. The Alliance provided humanity with access to advanced shielding, energy weapons, and even the beginnings of faster-than-light travel. But not all was peaceful in the galaxy. Whispers of a new threat began to spread, speaking of a shadowy entity that consumed entire star systems. This entity, known as the Voidweaver, was said to be an ancient force that fed on the energy of living beings, leaving behind only desolation and darkness. As the rumors grew more insistent, so did the calls for action. Humanity, now bolstered by their alliance with the Astraeus, found themselves at the forefront of a new interstellar coalition. Together, they prepared to face the Voidweaver, determined to protect their worlds and the fragile peace they had forged. Admiral Lee stood before a council of representatives from various alien races, her voice steady and resolute. We cannot afford to underestimate this threat. The Voidweaver has consumed worlds far more advanced than ours. But we have something they do not: unity. Together we stand a chance against this darkness. The Council nodded in agreement, their determination mirrored in the resolute expressions of their delegates. The stage was set for a battle unlike any other, a clash of light and darkness that would determine the fate of the galaxy. As the coalition prepared for war, humanity found itself at a crossroads. The path before them was fraught with danger, but also with opportunity. They had risen from the ashes of their first interstellar conflict, forging alliances and gaining respect among the stars. Now, they stood on the brink of a new era, ready to face whatever challenges the universe threw their way. In the quiet moments between preparations, Admiral Lee often found herself gazing at the stars, remembering the day the Endeavor had returned victorious. She thought of Captain Hart and the brave crew who had turned the tide of battle with their ingenuity and courage. Humanity had come a long way, and she knew that, whatever the future held, they would face it together. The Voidweaver loomed on the horizon, a shadow cast over the galaxy, but humanity was no longer alone in the darkness. With the Astraeus by their side and a coalition of allies at their back, they were ready to confront the unknown and write a new chapter in the story of the stars.